Hey, Tim!
What?
What are you doing?
Trying to part a hub.
Yeah, what happened here?
You broke it.
When did I break this?
Last year.
Yes, last year. You know why I broke it last year?
Because it fell in the hole?
No, it didn't fall in a hole.
It broke off?
It just broke off. Age is what happened. Old age. So the hub is fine. Timothy's going to rebuild it. He's going to clean all that crappy grease out of that cap, knock out these seals, and that's the good grease actually. So he could just knock that stuff all out of there. And what has happened is last year that wagon load of corn that flipped over, the front steering spindle had snapped off. So we got a new spindle. Me and Timothy have put it in place. Here it is. You have to put those bearings on, I don't know, you got to put them on first. You got to put the bearings in the hub before you put the hub on here, you know that?
The back one goes on first and the front one goes on last.
No, well, it doesn't matter. You put the back one in, you got to change the race, then you got to put the bearing in and then put the seal behind it, and then when you put the hub on, then you put the little bearing in, the front bearing on. Anyway, so me and Tim have done that. Timothy, in his backing this thing in here, snapped off my, what did you snap off? Tie rod end. A tie rod end. So I have to go in search of a tie rod end, and it's not entirely his fault because, as you can see, it was already starting to break. So it was probably a good thing that it actually did break. Yeah, that it actually did break. So I'm going to head down to a local auto parts store and see if they've got something. I imagine that's something like a truck. For a truck, right? For a truck, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. We may even have one of those things floating around here. But anyways, Tim's going to work on this while I go down and do that. And then we got to figure out what Grandpa's doing. Because Grandpa's a little grumpy, isn't he? Yeah, Grandpa's grumpy. And I got to get him to mow a field of hay so that we can bale. Yeah. Yep. That's what we're doing. So I think I'm in luck. I know I'm in luck. What do you think, Tim? You think I'm lucky today? I'm feeling lucky today. Anyway, I went back in my archives of stuff, and look what I found. It's not exactly the same, but I think it'll work. This is actually a John Deere. This is for a 4020 or 4320 or 4430 or whatever, one of those tractors. But the crown nut or castle nut seems to fit that just fine. I'm going to pull off the little dust cover, which was absent from the other one, and I'm going to lay it down here, and I'm going to say that looks pretty damn good, but the only way to really know is if I take it over here to the new part, and what do you know? Look at that. It actually fits. That will work. Some gun. Okay, so we got our problem straightened out before we even had to go anywhere. All right. Thank you, John Deere. Thank you, John Deere. Okay, so that's what I'll be working on while Timothy's over there working on that, right? Correct, Amundo?
Yeah, but I can't get a grip on the bottom one.
Bottom what?
Bottom brace.
Okay. The bottom race?
Brace.
Brace? What's a brace? It's a race.
It's a brace.
Race.
I thought it was a brace.
No, a race. What do you mean you can't get a grip on it?
I can't get it.
Flip it over and get that one out first. All right, we'll work on this and then get... What you got, Tim? Dirty elbows?
No.
Yeah, they're pretty dirty. I think you've been rubbing with the... Tell me that wasn't an awesome tool. Yeah, who bought that?
You.
Yeah, why did I buy that? For this sort of application, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so enough of picking on Tim, because we just love Tim to death, don't we?
Yes.
Yes, we love Tim. Anyway, yeah, so I've decided that John Deere tie rod end was perfect. And all I have to do is get a cotter pin in there, and I'm going to remove this for Tim so he has easy flawless operation, and he's going to put that hub on. While I do that, I'm going to run a shot of, it has grease in it, but I'm going to run a shot of grease up in that ball joint or in that tie rod end so that it's all nice and good. I'm going to put grease in these hubs too, or in the spindle. And then we have this little problem right here. Yeah, when the thing went over, it twisted the tongue something awful, so I actually have to bend it back. But I wanted to get that fixed before I did that because it's just make it a little easier. So anyway, what did you do?
Nothing.
You did nothing? Well, you better get going on something. Wow, things are coming together pretty quickly, aren't they? Got the bearing in? Oh yeah, throw it on the ground, that's good. What the
Not screw up the seal, it's the braces what's stuck.
The who?
I mean the bearing. The bearing is stuck.
Did you put any oil on it to get it to slide on nice?
No.
Well, why would you do that? Now you gotta, don't you? Go get something soft, like you're gonna have to get something soft so you don't bearing. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna do it because I don't want you screwing it up. Okay, so I had a visitor. Yeah, visitor. Of course I got sidetracked a little bit, and now I'm back in business. But here's the deal. It's all done. I got the bearings are greased. The wheel is up on there. Those are greased. Greased this. Do have, there's one little thing that really kind of annoyed me years ago, but it seems to be okay nowadays. Was right here. I had that pin break off one time. Caused a bit of an ass ache. I greased those and those. Everything else is good except for that. See that? That's really a disappointing thing because you can't buy the front half of that thing. You have to buy the entire axle assembly. Or not axle assembly, the whole hitch assembly, the whole tongue assembly. So, with it being like that, I have to do something. I can't leave it like that. For the simple reason is it just won't work. So, it's weak now. But what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take the skid steer and I'm going to come in from the side and I'm going to lift it up and I'm going to put a pin through there and I'm going to curl it around that way. So, that's what I'm going to do now. Everything else is where it needs to be. Yeah, everything else is where it needs to be. I'm going to move this out of the way real quick. And we're almost ready to actually put this wagon back into service. Yeah, and somebody asked me, of course, this thing here sat out and I didn't clean it out because I'm a slob sometimes. But I had a YouTuber ask me if I ever went to fill the wagon up and leave the gate open, and I did make a comment there saying yes, more times than I'd like to admit, which is the absolute God's honest truth. More times than I would like to admit. I've already come up to this thing and oh crap, you know, and boom, this grain comes out the bottom and you got to shovel it up. I don't need this up here anymore. The only reason I had that up there was because of the weight. I needed weight. Holy shit, that thing's 100 pounds. I needed weight to keep that wheel up so I could get it moved around. But yep, that tie rod end that I put in there, that was a John Deere, seemed to work out okay. I don't know, did I tighten it? Yes, I did. Timothy put a cotter pin in there. So yeah, I call this fix here, at least this part of it, good. Now I'm gonna hit that. You gonna do it or not? Keep going. A little more. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Good. Bring it back up. See if it relaxes. Woohoo!
Watch.
No.
I'm looking right at it. No.
What are you doing? What? Yeah. Wanted in 6 states. Desperado. Look out. No, he's all good. Don't get it in the mud. It's good. Take it out there.